It goes on day after day. Unemployment stays high. You eventually get used to it. The fuel gets high. You eventually get used to it. So just like in a midlife crisis, when people experience physical pains as their body's aging, and as America has aged, we've got all these pains around us. So instead of trying to do something about the pain, treat the pain, exercise, take your vitamins, do what you can do to help the pain, we accept the pain and we just say that's just the way it's going to be, instead of trying to change it and instead of trying to do something about it. Oh my. Number 4, some men, now this is important, some men start changing everything around them in a midlife crisis in hopes to make them feel better or stronger. And what they do in some instances is they leave their wife of 25, 30, 35 years for someone who is younger, or someone they've met on Facebook, or someone they have met on the internet. Listen, folks, this is happening every day. And so in order to make them feel better, they start changing fundamentally what has been the fundamental basics of their life, which has kept them through all of those years. You know, mama's done the dishes, mama's done the cooking, mama's cleaned the house, mama's helped raise the kids. So instead of him depending on what fundamentally got him to the dance, what fundamentally has brought him for 25 to 30 years, he starts changing everything around him, trying to make himself feel better about himself. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and preach this. That is exactly what America has done politically. In other words, we're looking to the super savior and the superhero to try to help us feel better. Oh my, I'm going to have to go there. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go there. But there was one individual running for a high office, and they asked people, name one thing he's done. And nobody could name anything, but here's what they said. Makes me feel good when they speak. Oh, isn't that great? So, in other words, you're going to make a change over just something making you feel good. That's midlife. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That is a midlife crisis that the United States is in. Let's go further. Come on. We are discarding what is important and ignoring the foundation of what got us here. What made us great? What made us strong? What enabled us to have an economy that grows? What enabled to create jobs? We're ignoring the foundation. Now, let's look at other parts of a midlife crisis and see if that can be compared to where the United States is. Now, once again, if you've just tuned in, I'm taking what some have called the male midlife crisis that happens in the lives of some men. Some men say they never go through it, some say they have. And showing you the parallels of a male midlife crisis to the midlife crisis that the United States is in. Because I had an inspiration come to me, that's where we're at. We're at a midlife crisis. Ready? In a midlife crisis, it's never about others, it's only about you. Wow. Look at the people, for example, look at the governors of different states that are trying to balance the budget. And they're telling certain groups, you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to change that. And these groups are protesting and screaming and hollering. You know why? Because it's not about what's best for the state. It's not what's best for the other people that are not a part of that group. It's what's best about me. So in other words, in a midlife crisis, it's not about others, it's only about you. Now think about it. America's in a midlife crisis. Number 2, in a midlife crisis, it's about our feelings, and we don't care what anybody else says. And I think I don't have to repeat that. That goes in with number 1. Number 3, in a midlife crisis, now listen to this. We want instant pleasure, but don't care about the repercussions that it carries if we do certain things. Let's go back to i.e. men. Men that have, you know, during a crisis goes out and they find another woman, end up having an affair with that woman, losing their family. They never thought about the repercussions at the moment. So what happens in a national American midlife crisis is we go out and we want instant pleasure. In other words, you know, take the wealth from them and give it to me. Let's redistribute the wealth. I want to stay home and watch TV and go to the store and grab my potato chips and Coca-Cola. Come on, I'm going to go ahead and preach this. And then let the rich people work. Go tax the corporations and the rich people, because it's all about me. So they want people in a midlife crisis. They want to feel happy. They don't care who it cost. They don't care of the repercussions. Oh, come on, I'm going to go ahead and preach this anyway. Now, 7 points about America, and I got 5 minutes to get this in. In a midlife crisis, people want change, and we were promised a few years ago change. Number 2, in a midlife crisis, people want a fundamental change of everything they've been doing, and they want to do it differently. We were promised a fundamental change. Number 3, we didn't care. In a midlife crisis, you don't care about the foundation of what got you there. You just want to feel good right now. Oh, did I have to explain to you about people that make people feel good by what they say? Number 4, we're tired of tradition. Now, stay with me. I can only go so far with this, so you stay with me and see if you can have the ear to hear it. In a midlife crisis, when a guy gets maybe, let's say, 45, 50, 55, been married to the same woman, bless her heart, mama's been the head of the house, and mama's held the fort down. Mama starts physically changing. So what does he do? Now listen. He wants someone who don't have gray hair. He wants someone younger to make him feel good. Oh, wonder where the parallel to that is in the United States. I'll tell you where the parallel is. We've got people who are 55, 60, 65, 70 years of age who have wisdom, who have knowledge, who have understanding, and some of them are Christians. But we will go ahead and place people with absolute no experience in the Bible, no experience in things, all because they're younger and make us feel better. Okay? I'll let you figure out what you think that means. Okay? I'll report, you decide. I think I've heard that somewhere before. Number 5, in a midlife crisis, you're confused about where you're going. Have you ever seen such confusion? Nobody knows how to pay the debt off. Here's the deal. If you raise taxes on business people are the ones who hire people. So business people know they're going to put out more tax money. They don't want to hire somebody and have to pay the payment and the benefit because they're going to have to pay the taxes. So it's hard to go that way. But then if you continue to go with all of the entitlements that we have, we will have no money. There will literally be no money because there will be nobody buying the debt of America. Every time we print money, somebody's got to buy that debt, and we promise to pay them interest for buying it. China does it. Japan does it. Middle Eastern nations do it. But now, check it out. If you haven't kept up with this, they're really getting shaky about buying our debt. So eventually you have no money, and so therefore the entitlements start stopping. Therefore you get riots in the cities because people aren't getting their entitlements. I'm telling you something. People need to wake up and pay attention. We are in a parallel to a midlife crisis. And here's another one, number 6. We're trying to be like someone else when we're not someone else. If we can form some of the czars in Washington think that if we can make America like a democratic socialist, like the democratic socialism of Europe, we're going to succeed. Well, look what that did to Greece. Democratic socialism. Take a look at Greece. Take a look at some of these great nations like Spain and Portugal. Look at what they're dealing with. Look at what Europe is dealing with now. So it works for a while, but it's like one of the Queen of England said, eventually you run out of money to give people. And when you run out of money to give people, the whole system starts collapsing. Oh my. Number 7. Midlife crisis comes because people at times never dealt with issues early, and they let the issues build up and then suddenly have to deal with them, and everything around them seems to be collapsing. Now, the good news is this. If there is good news, this is it. In the natural, if a person will do the right things, they can pull through a crisis, and the latter end of their life can be some of the best years that they've ever had with their family, their relatives, their children, their grandchildren. But it's the decisions you make in the middle of it that are going to determine whether or not you make it through it. Now, we're here. We're in a crisis. And we're either going to just flatten out, level out, or we're going to flatten out and begin to go this way, or we're going to flatten out and some people are going to wake up in this country, and we're going to get the right people, surround ourselves with the right leaders, surround ourselves with the right people, and the people that are praying people, the people that understand spiritual principles, the people that are not afraid of offending somebody by being politically correct, and they're going to straighten things out. But let me tell you what, the real problem in America is not political, because this is not a political message. This is a spiritual message. I'm a preacher, not a politician, and I don't promote anybody, so you have to understand that one way or the other. But listen to me carefully. I want to say this, that we have to understand that our problem in America is a spiritual problem. If you can get the heart of a person straightened up, then their heart